My internship with BYU Pathway Worldwide. The reason I chose BYU Pathway Worldwide is because I know it's a growing entity. I was really excited to get to learn from a lot of new different people in the finance sector and to work in the church and to really see what goes on behind the scenes. I found my internship on the Career Navigator website. I sent in my resume. A week later, I was interviewed, and 3 days after that, I was hired. I had 1 month from the time I accepted to the time I started. In that time, we had to find housing in Salt Lake, buy a car, make sure our housing in Rexburg was still secure for when we got back, find a doctor because we're having a baby, and prepare ourselves mentally, spiritually, and physically to move down or up to Salt Lake. BYU Pathway Worldwide is becoming its own church entity. My job as an intern was to help along that process. I had no idea when I started that we would be working in the church office building with so many different people to help get that established. Some of the education background that I had that helped me were some of the finance classes I had taken due to getting all of the accounting set up. The investment society I was a part of was huge. When we met with Ensign Peak, I knew a lot more than I expected, and mostly with IBC because I'd worked as the Chief Operations Officer. I had a lot of experience trying to navigate and get things done, and so I'm grateful for the education I had ahead of time to help me be prepared for my internship. In the future, I would love to continue working with Pathway or for the church. Pathway has a position for mentors, and I'd love to be a mentor in the future. I'd love to, after I get my master's, be an online professor for BYU Idaho, and if I could continue working for the church, I don't think anything else would make me happier, and I'm grateful for the connections I've made here and being at Pathway to help hopefully smooth those along in the future. My advice for future interns is don't be afraid to try new things. Pathway was a risk for us. We decided to go, not knowing if we'd find housing in Utah or if we'd have it when we got back to Rexburg. We were told that there was no guarantee we'd get our jobs back in Rexburg. We also have a new baby on the way. We had faith and we went anyway. We would do it over again in a heartbeat. Sometimes the Lord calls you to a new place and you don't know why. You just have to go. Pathway has been such a blessing for my family.